Hi everyone, welcome back to Chelsea Starting the Podcast, the cozy corner where imaginations takes root and quiet voices grow bold with courage. I'm your host, Chelsea Kim, children's book author, educator, and your homeroom teacher from all shy hearts ready to shine. Today's episode is extra special. We have a wonderful guest joining us who brings inspiration, creativity, and purpose to their work. Whether it's a story they've written, a product they created, or a mission they're passionate about, I know you're going to love hearing what they have to share. So grab your tea, snuggle in, and get ready to meet someone amazing. And let's welcome to the podcast, Michelle Schreiner to the podcast. Woo! Michelle. She's in our podcast, guys. And Michelle, let's see what you have prepared for us.
Yeah, Chelsea, thank you for having me. My name is Michelle Schreiner. I am a mom of twins, girl-boy twins. I am a children's book author, and I'm a cognitive psychologist. So I've spent my career helping people uncover hidden patterns and step into their potential. And now I'm channeling that passion into storytelling for kids.
That is amazing. And what do you have prepared for us?
Well, I've got my debut children's book. It's called Charlie and the Funky Monkeys Challenge.
Oh my gosh. I have the electronic version, guys, and look, even the electronic version looks amazing. The visual is so amazing. She has the actual physical book. And can you like share us, tell us about the full title and the name of your book and walk us through what it's like and what it's all about.
Yeah, well, at the heart of the story, it's really about believing in yourself, even when
Mm,
you're not sure about doing something. And so
mm.
the story's about a girl named Charlie who visits a
Oh,
museum
mm-hmm.
and she finds that there's this video game at an exhibit, and it's testing how well you can mentally rotate objects in your mind.
Oh,
And so it's different monkeys and poses that she has to figure out if they're holding up the same arm or not, as an
right.
example. So this is about not really just about the ability to understand spatial imagination. It's also about discovering your inner strength and your
Mm.
self-belief.
Wow. And what inspired you to create this? And was there like a specific moment or experience that sparked it?
You know, this came from over 20 years ago when I was mentoring students at the University of Georgia. We ended up doing a research study that debunked a gender stereotype saying that men were better at mentally rotating images than women
Mm.
because of their ability. And our research demonstrated that no, it's not about ability, it is about confidence. And
Right.
so 20 years later, I was invited to a STEM event for high school girls, and I found myself sharing sharing a little advice about what I would do differently had I had that insight decades ago. And it really is about doing it for the plot, just
Right.
trying, even when you're not 100% sure, just giving
Mm.
yourself that chance instead of holding yourself back. And so combined, that really inspired me to want to tell the story before the limiting beliefs
Mm.
and those
Mm.
gender myths started to take root in people's
Mm.
minds. It's like, how do we get ahead of it? And so I
Right.
thought, well, maybe we can tell a story to children.
Oh, that is awesome. And I remember just to input that idea, I remember when I was this age, around this age, and I remember playing in the playground. And there was a guy telling me like, wait, this game is not for girls. And it was like football, I believe. I think it was flag football, if I remember. It was flag
Mm,
football. And I was like, why not? I'm strong. And I was doing taekwondo at that time. I had the muscle ability, I had balance, whatever. And I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to waste my energy. So I came to him and I was like, no, girls could do it too. And I was being immature. I was like, girls could do it too. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna create my own flag football and we're gonna verse you one day. He's like, okay, let's try. So we did this whole competition. And then we did have like a tie points. We didn't win or he didn't win, but we showed that, hey, he was kind of impressed, like, wow, you guys are actually strong. And like, okay, we'll do another match. And then later I found out after we graduated, years later, I heard that they combined co-ex that team. And I was like, this is beautiful. Everything could happen. And then when I was reading your book, I was like, this reminded me that moment when I think it was Aaron, the character
Aaron.
Aaron was
Mhm.
coming and he's like, no girls allowed. That reminded me this little section of your book. It's
Hmm.
amazing. I like how you input that. It's a very like it's like eye to eye to a children's point of view. And then as an adult, we can look back and we're like, oh, we had that moment before. And it was very interesting how you put that. And going to that next question I want to ask you, who is this really for? And what impacted are you hoping it makes
Hmm.
in their lives too?
Well, Chelsea, shout out to you for making an impact, first of all, and for speaking up and
Yes,
for standing up for yourself and for all kids, really. And so
right.
it's true. When you ask about who is this for,
Mm,
gosh, my hope it's for everybody. And I know that can sound somewhat odd. Like, what are you talking about? It's a children's book.
mhm,
Yes. The message, though, is evergreen and it applies not to
mhm.
just kids, it also applies to the grown-ups, those who
Right.
care about kids and who need to
Mhm,
remember themselves, the
mhm.
importance of believing in yourself and to overcoming those limiting beliefs. And so, gosh, I hope that people can see through, like they can see that message. It can be subtle. We're not necessarily creating a lecture
Right.
in the story. It's very playful, but
Mhm.
I hope that core message does come through.
Oh, that is awesome. Perfect. And do you have a favorite part or feature or behind the scene moment you love to share?
Well, there's a few, and gosh, where can I begin? I'll start with Charlie and her brother are in their bedroom, and Charlie has been drawing different monkey poses. So she comes
Oh,
back from the museum and she's drawing, and she's asking her
picture
brother to
this way.
play with her, and they start playing the
Mhm.
game just with paper. And then they just toss up all the papers and they're chanting and laughing, funky monkeys, funky monkeys, funky monkeys. So it's just a fun chant that just sparks joy for me. I just love that little
Mhm.
element.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it on the screen, guys, so you can see it more clearly. You guys can see the illustration, by the way. I love how it's very cartoon style, and I love the gesture. Like, kids could be silly at the times. I love how you input it, and it's
Well,
amazing.
thank you for that, Chelsea. And I'll share, I'm going to dial into something that you just said. And you're like
Mm.
talking about the cartoon nature of it.
Hmm.
And so as part of my journey in becoming an author, my strength is more so in writing. It's not necessarily like
Right.
drawing.
Hmm.
And so finding an illustrator who understood the qualities I was going for was fun. It was a fun challenge, even though I didn't
Yeah,
know the words. Like, is this
right.
whimsical? Is this vibrant? What is
Oh,
this?
right. That's the hard part. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I ended up wanting someone who had comic book skills.
Oh, right. Oh, that's
And
so
so
cool.
that's what's infused into the story.
And I wanted to ask you, when will this be a perfect time or setting for someone to enjoy or use what you just created? What will be the perfect time to read this book?
Oh gosh, I think there's a few perfect opportunities. One would be, say, in a classroom where we are with a
Mm.
group of kids and being able to tell the story and to even
Ah.
expand upon the story and share more about self-belief, confidence, even
Mm.
instilling early principles of having a growth mindset, which we see in one of the characters who, by the end of the story, shifts his own perspective
Mm.
on what Charlie can do and what girls can do in general. So that's, I hope, one opportunity. And another is just reading at home,
Mm.
whether it's before bed or your favorite time to read to kids. And so I think that it can translate whether you're in the classroom or whether you're at home. Again, it's an evergreen. message, I think, for kids.
Beautiful. And Michelle, I want to ask you and to the audience right now, what word should the audience comment down below? I want to make sure they're paying attention, listening. I don't know if you guys are commuting right now or at home listening or watching the video. Make sure you guys subscribe. Michelle, do you have
You
any
know,
word for them?
funky does come to mind. I mean, how could you not love funky or funky
There you go.
monkeys? There's a ring to it. And that
I
was
love it.
candidly one of the fun parts of this is trying to find a way to talk about how to mentally rotate shapes in a fun way. And monkeys are fun and
All
funky.
right. So, guys, comment down funky, funky monkey. You can put funky with the monkey icon on it, like the little emoji monkey. Hey there, listeners. It's Chelsea from Chelsea Story Nook Podcast. Got a book, product, or a brand that deserve the spotlight? Let your story shine right here on the show. Spots are filling fast. Email me at chelseastorynook@gmail.com to claim yours today. Now, back to the show. So, I want to ask you, what important topics or messages does this touch on in this book?
Yeah, well, confidence is definitely one of the core themes in the story, and instilling that at an early age and building upon that for many years to come. Also, as I mentioned a moment ago, having a growth mindset. So, this
Right.
notion that we continue to learn, grow,
Mm,
expand, and enjoying that change. And sometimes people think that change is difficult or challenging. Well, change can also be really beautiful and endearing. And so I think that's another one. Sibling dynamics. So Charlie
oh,
and her twin brother, and in the story, you get a sense of how her brother is so supportive of his sister, and it's
mm,
a very sweet dynamic that they have and that they share.
mm.
Also, gender equity and equality in STEM, and that's
Oh,
an important component because if you look at the research, they're again, girls are just as capable as the boys. It's just as the years progress, there is tremendous bias within STEM favoring boys, whether
mhm.
that's through messaging or career pathing. And I know there's many organizations that are investing heavily in, again, rewriting that narrative and making important shifts so that girls are just as empowered and just as willing to enter those STEM fields.
And speaking of all those messages and behind the scenes too, is there any hidden gems or specific details in this book we should look out for while we get this book? I want to see.
There's a couple, and I'll start with one as soon as I can find the page here. And it's with their teacher. So this is on page 20.
Oh, with the ABC on it.
Mr. Johnny was my twin's first teacher at a Montessori school.
Oh, oh, I
And
see.
he was such a warm, kind, compassionate teacher person. And I
Mm,
was so appreciative that he was their first teacher, that they would establish a relationship, a special one, like their first teacher, with someone as kind and gentle and caring as him.
mm.
And I wanted him to be honored and I wanted him to be represented
Mm.
in the story.
Oh.
And I was talking with another teacher recently,
Mhm.
and I was telling him how many teachers in the school systems, they tend to be female, women. And so
Mm.
for him to be male, for him to be a black man, he is a unicorn of sorts, and he's a real person and
Mm.
they're out there. And I know he touched my twin's life as much as I honor and respect him. I know he's played a very important role in their lives as well.
Mm.
And so I just wanted to bring him into the story, even though it's very subtle. I don't think people would necessarily know that, but I still wanted that to be integrated in the story.
And when I saw this scene, I was like, oh, this kind of hit me as a teacher, and at the same time hit me when I want to become a teacher, because this is like it inspires so many kids out there and inspired you as a parent too. And I think I really appreciate that. And also, I think Mr. Johnny will really, really appreciate that. So, Mr. Johnny, if you're out there, hopefully you're seeing this podcast. But Michelle, like, oh my gosh, she just put you in the illustration. If you could show that again, I'll show you here, right here on the screen again. But it's right here. Oh my goodness.
And thank you for being a teacher yourself and for
Oh,
sharing what inspired you and just the legacy. I can't help but be reminded of the power, the tremendous impact that teachers have on us growing up. It's a long-lasting impact. So shout out to
it's
the teachers, truly.
shout out to all teachers out there. If you're a teacher, comment down or share this video. I mean, I think it's a perfect time to get this book, whether you're a teacher or parents. I feel like you will all relate to this book. And I want to ask you, if there's a written description or a backstory, would you be able to open up to sharing that with us as well?
Oh, yeah, sure. So when the kids go to the museum, I'll share a couple of pages here. So I'm on page 8.
Page
And so
8, I'm
this
gonna
is
go there.
when Charlie finds her brother playing the video game with a school friend with Aaron.
Uh-huh.
She's wondering, well, what is this game? And Oxford says it's the Funky Monkey Challenge. So on the next page, he sets up the premise for the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is again where it was like, how do I take a research study written 20 years ago and explain it in a way that a child would understand? And so here we have an image of the lopsided monkey that
Right.
Oxford's pointing to. And he says, you've got to decide if the monkeys are the same or different. And he's pointing to that lopsided monkey. You've got to turn that monkey around in your mind to see if it's holding up the same arm or not. And so that
Oh.
was the attempt to translating what's otherwise a complicated psychological set of instructions on like how to mentally rotate spatial images.
Whoa. Wow. See, this is why I ask you as an author, then when can I ask you this question? This is
Right.
amazing.
Yeah.
This is so cool. And this is our time. Now is going to read a section of her book. So it's going to be reading time. So, Michelle, can you say it's reading time?
It's reading time.
All right, let's do that.
Yeah. So page 12, Charlie goes, can I play? Charlie asked. No way, Aaron said. Girls aren't good at this. That's not fair, Charlie protested. I want to try. Give her a chance, Oxford said. No girls allowed, Aaron insisted. Besides, it's my turn. Come on, Charlie, Oxford said, grabbing her hand. Let's go to the dinosaur exhibit. They have your favorite dinosaur, a huge triceratops. At home, Oxford rambled on about the video game. It was so fun. I won 3 times. How about you, Charlie? Mom asked. Did you play? Charlie shook her head. Aaron wouldn't let me, she mumbled. He said it was only for boys. Well, what do you think? Mom asked. I think I can do it. Then do it next time. And don't let anyone tell you that you can't.
Most importantly, how can listeners find or support you what you just created?
This book, thank you, Chelsea. This book will be available on June 24th on Amazon and through major retailers. You can also order it directly from me on my website at michelleschreiner.com.
Yay. So, guys, go check out Michelle Schreiner, her book, Charlie and the Funky Monkeys Challenge. Again, that's Charlie and the Funky Monkeys Challenge. You guys, this is so fun. You put in your calendar right now, June 24, 2025. And I believe when this podcast is live, it should be live on the book launch date or a little bit after. Still, go get it right now and like on Amazon. It should be available right now on Amazon. By the time you're listening to this, go get it on Amazon. Leave a nice review for Michelle. And yeah, and maybe take a picture, tag Michelle on her Instagram. She does have an Instagram, she does have Facebook. And so
Mhm.
go give her a nice shout out. And again, thank you, Michelle, for being on my podcast. It's truly an honor. And I'm so happy you are on my podcast.
Oh, Chelsea, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. And thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Chelsea Story Nook podcast, where shy voices find bold dreams and beautiful stories. If today's guest inspired you, don't forget to check out their work and show them some love. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe, leave a kind review, and share it with someone who could use a little spark of encouragement today. We also love to hear from you. What was your favorite part? Drop a comment below and let us know. Until next time, keep growing, keep imagining, and always remember your voice matters, your dreams are valid, and your story is worth sharing. And always, let's carry it on. Bye, everyone. Thank you for tuning in today's episode of Chelsea Story Nook Podcast, Shy to Shine, your gateway to success. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share this podcast with someone who could use a little inspiration. We love to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let us know your biggest takeaway from today's episode. Until next time, keep growing, keep shining, and always remember your story is worth sharing. And let's carry it on.